Today we are going to be talking about some updates that came to us this week from Bonnaroo. We got some dates, and they gave us a little bit of behind the scenes information on what to expect for the next year. With me, I brought back my good friend Levi. He went to
Hello.
this year's Bonnaroo of 2025. It was an absolute catastrophe, if you even want to call it a festival year. Um, yeah, very unsuccessful. So,
Yeah.
my good man Levi, how are you feeling today? What's going on?
I'm feeling all right. Just been
Yes.
hanging out.
Dude, I'm loving the LCD sound system shirt. They need to bring
Oh,
them back.
thanks. Yeah, they had. This is when I saw them in 2023 with Idols.
Heck yeah.
I liked this design.
Yeah.
I saw them
They
recently, but I didn't like any of their shirts for that one.
fair enough. That's how it is sometimes. Sometimes the merch is hitting and other times it's not, so it makes sense.
Yeah, saves me some money.
Yeah. I would love LCD Sound System to make an appearance on the farm, though. That would be really cool. I know that they did in like 2016 or something like that.
Yeah,
But I think they should go to the farm, and then they should also bring their like disco thing that they do as well. I got to do that in 3 points. It was really cool.
their disco, like, is that like his like DJ sets that he does?
Well, I got to see his DJ set one year, and then the other year he did his like traveling sound system thing that he has. It's like a 360-degree audio experience.
Oh,
It's
that's cool.
actually coming back to 3 points again this year in Miami. It's really cool. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. I would have to look it up, but
Yeah.
it's very very interesting. James Murphy's there, and he's there with too many DJs as well, and they just kind
Yeah.
of go back to back, throwing on different records. And the sound system is like the most crisp and clear hi-fi experience you'll ever have. Like
That's
it's
really cool.
yeah, it's by far one of the coolest things I ever got to experience. But
I
I
didn't
think
know we
they should
did
bring
that.
that to Bonnaroo. That would be really really cool instead of
That
what was it that they
the
tried doing
the
this
Infinity
past year?
stage. Oh, that
Yeah,
was a disaster.
another catastrophe. But let's get into this announcement and everything that's popped up. So let me share screen. Uno momento. And boom. Is it clear on your end? Can you see anything?
Just your beautiful face. There we go.
Oh, there it is. All right. Just took a second. All right. So let's get into this announcement. They've got 3 different calling cards. We're going to read through this, and then we'll talk about just our thoughts based off the verbiage and everything. So, step one is called the plan. So, we've been taking your feedback to heart over the past few weeks as we plan improvements and talk about what's next for the festival. And now it's time to share these plans with you. Bonnaroo will be returning to the farm on June 11th through the 14th of 2026. Yay, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I
So,
guess it's the same weekend.
it is. It's pretty much the same week. Some things will change and some things will remain the same. Here's what you can expect in 2026. Point number one, we got campsites located in areas most affected by flooding will not be utilized. This will result in a reduced capacity on the farm, more dancing space. I don't know why they put that quotation there or that mark saying
Yeah,
that there's more dancing space because ultimately I don't know where they're looking at for that, but we'll come back to
yeah,
that point. That's a really big point I want to talk about. Number two, we got camping entry and programming in Outeroo will begin on Wednesday. We'll kick things off Thursday evening on the What stage with an epic welcome party. All other Center Roo stages will be programmed in full on Friday through Sunday with your traditional Center Roo experience. The Where in the Woods UFO stage will be making its landing in Center Roo. This will take the place of the Infinity stage and feature late night DJs and dance parties. The Where in the Woods space will continue to serve as a relaxation haven in Outeroo. And on the last point, they say Centeroo and the caliber of artists you expect from us will remain very similar to previous years. This is their plan of action. Let's
Ugh.
talk about their second calling card here, farm improvements. So, after the cancellation from Hurricane Ida in 2021, we consulted with drainage and land management experts to improve conditions on the farm in the event of heavy, sustained rain. We created a multi-million dollar, multi-year plan and have been tackling projects post festival each year. These improvements have helped, but there is still more work to do. In the 2025-2026 offseason, we'll be dedicating an additional multi-million dollar budget and initiating improvements that prioritize the campgrounds and other areas affected by the extreme weather in 2025. Some of these projects will include reseeding the property, continuing to increase access roads within the campgrounds, adding more drainage and reinforcing primary water runoff pathways. So that's calling card two. Their farm improvements that they're planning to put into action. And lastly, this is in particular to the surveys that they were sending out, kind of like a PSA. They were asking about different times of the year that they were thinking about having Bonnaroo. So this is a PSA stating about the dates. So they say, we appreciate your feedback on future Bonnaroo dates, and we heard you loud and clear that your strong preference is to keep Bonnaroo in June. Weather experts have confirmed that we saw record setting rainfall this spring and early summer, making what we experienced extremely uncommon. All things considered, our traditional June timeframe remains the most optimal time of year for Bonnaroo. Okay, three
Whew.
really long pages of information. We're
Great
going to
job reading
start.
all that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, this is a lot of information. I'm first off, great job, Bonnaroo, for being transparent. I'm so glad that they gave us this amount of information, um,
Yeah.
especially this early. Um, but I kind of want to ask you, Levi, because you went this year, you experienced everything that happened and unfolded for you. What are your thoughts about what we just kind of glazed over real quick?
So I got a couple of things. The first thing is where they talk about how the campsites that are not as acceptable or susceptible to flooding. We were like our campsite. We were at the bottom of a ditch. We had a river running through our thing,
Yeah.
and we thought it was kind of ludicrous that they were just putting people in there in the first place. Because those of you who don't know, you don't really choose where you camp at Bonnaroo. They just file you in whenever you get there,
Yep.
and wherever you are, that's where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just even before it all went south, so yeah, I turned to my partner like, "Oh, we're in a ditch. This rains is not going to be good." And I was right on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a Boy Scout to see the signs, It's
Yeah,
very clear and cut that they put people in places where they shouldn't have. And let's circle back to exactly what that comment is that they say on the plan. It's point number uno. I mean, campsites
yeah,
located in areas most affected by flooding will not be utilized. This will result in reduced capacity on the farm. Quotations here, more danceable space. First off, where are we dancing? Like, why are we dancing in our campsites and stuff? We
yeah.
should be like out going to things that are happening in Inneroo, or Outeroo has like the
Yeah,
House of Yes and other experiences and stuff. So
yeah.
why
It's
are they putting that
weird.
in there to try and make it sound more upbeat? So to me,
I
it's just like they're trying to make it sound more upbeat.
I do too, especially because that means we were putting people where we probably shouldn't, and now we're going to raise the price.
That was going to be my main point on this subject, which is they're saying that they're reducing the capacity on the farm. So what does that mean? That means there's less people that are going to the farm that are camping. So here's 2 points that I have to say. First number point on this is, obviously there's less people camping. That means that they're selling less GA tickets, right? GA 4 days. Um, so are they going to cost more on those tickets? They're going to charge more for those tickets,
100%.
or are they looking to make up money by doing the single days or offering like, 2-day tickets and stuff like they did that one time not that long ago?
Yeah, 2024. I would
Yeah,
imagine they're going to do both.
I think they will do both too. But I think it's very interesting that, they're obviously going to try and make up revenue somewhere for
That,
this.
and I think it also like reduced capacity for next year. I think it looks better because I went in 2022 for the first time after the hurricane had canceled it twice, and there
Mhm.
was not a lot of people there. And I don't. The cynical part of me kind of thinks reduced capacity. Does that mean that it'll look better when you're anticipating a bad ticket sales year?
I mean, that could be another thing that they're
And kind of save
anticipating is
face.
another, a down tick in ticket sales, and, I think that could be expected. It's going to leave bad tastes in people's mouth. I mean, when I talked to you about this, privately, you said that you definitely aren't looking to go back after your experience and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
when you read this stuff, like, how does it make you feel as, like, just a consumer in general? Like, does it reassure you, or do you still feel very skeptical?
I feel pretty. I feel pretty skeptical. I don't know. I feel like each public thing they've put out has been getting worse.
It feels more corporatized the more that they talk.
Yeah, and I feel like the transparency is a lot of filler
Yeah.
because everybody that was a big thing where people were like, "Why couldn't you communicate when everything was going to shit or crap?" Sorry, I didn't mean to,
No,
but
you're good.
when when it was flooding,
Yeah.
and so I feel like now it's being over transparent and kind of I don't know, creating future, being like, "Well, we did this," but not to tip my hand because we're still going through it, but the whole thing to me reads as, and I said to you before, reads as what's the least amount that we can actually do to pass off as change to get regulars to come back next year?
Yeah. And that's the last point that I really wanted to talk about too, for that campsite point is, are they actually going to, because we talked about it in the next slide, which is like they said that let's go to that slide actually. Hold on.
Yeah,
So let's talk about this slide just for a moment because this first point really coincides with this statement, the farm improvements. Um, so they state here after the hurricane in 2021 that they've been improving the drainage and land management for a year over year multi-million dollar contract that they're trying to contact or tackle these different projects post festival each year.
I just straight
So
up don't
how
believe that.
like how many years has it been since 2021? It's
Like,
been 22,
yeah,
23, 24, 25. It's been 4
we've had
years.
three, and like,
It's been 4 years.
yeah, and it was still awful. And there's been no improvements. I've gone the past 3 years. Nothing looks different. Nothing runs like I completely do not think that they've been working on that every off season,
I
and it
I
again
highly
feels like
doubt
it's
it.
like we're working on it. And I'm not one to call things outright lie. I feel like that's an outright lie.
This is
Outside of like we paved
100%
two
a lie,
roads.
I feel like. Yeah, I mean, they've definitely done some infrastructure improvements with roads, but roads does not improve drainage. Roads actually makes drainage worse
Yeah,
because the water is displaced and it has to go other places, and that means it's just gonna go further into campsites. So, they have to figure out a way to be able to create these water runoffs to prevent flooding. So, ultimately, like, it just seems like a bunch of fluff, but at
yeah.
the same time, they're trying to say where there's smoke, there's fire, like, things are trying to happen, and with that, I say, you know, where's the money actually going then? Like, who are these contractors you're hiring? Because whoever you're hiring, they're obviously not doing a good enough job. It's been 4 years. There are plenty of festivals that are out here that are making major improvements with their festival within that amount of time.
Yeah.
So, I just don't see it. So I agree with you. Like it definitely feels like an outright lie. Like it makes no sense.
Yeah, I think there's truth to they've probably done things to improve it, but also not the drainage.
Definitely. So let's move on to the next point here. They were saying camping entry and programming in Outeroo will begin on Wednesdays. So another loss of value for your ticket here. They were starting to allow people to come in and start camping on Tuesdays, but now they're taking a day away from that, and the earliest you can show up is Wednesdays now. A lot of people say it's very traditional of Bonnaroo to go back to having Wednesday as like an opening,
I don't
and
think.
I think that's okay. It's just
Yeah,
to me, it just takes away value. So whatever more money that they're going to ask you to pay for the ticket, you're receiving less value
especially, and we haven't gotten to that part yet. But the big less value is where it says,
the
or here
next
you go to
one.
the next slide.
Yeah, so
I'm
let's
gonna
move on
jump
to
the
the
gun.
next point. We'll tag these 2 points together, but
Yeah,
we'll kick things off Thursday evening on the What stage with an epic welcome party. All other Centeroo stages will be programmed in full Friday through Sunday with your traditional Centeroo experience. So Thursday itself was becoming more of a full, maybe a half day experience where they had multiple stages open on that day. Now they're reducing that to just one stage, maybe two, because we haven't talked about Where in the Woods yet. But Where in the Woods is being moved into Centeroo as well. And they
yeah,
say on that next point that it's replacing the Infinity stage. So does that mean that that will be open on Thursday? Uh, Again, the transparency, like it's great that they're providing this, but to me, I'm just getting more questions than answers. I feel like at this point,
yeah. And it also leads to more like that's just a cost cutting measure. Like there's no
100%.
like
Yeah,
there's no reason why because it got canceled 2 years they needed to do that, except for they didn't want to pay artists to play on Thursday.
that's
And
basically what it is. They're just trying to have less artists on that day, and it's not as monumental. You're probably paying the same amount of money because
oh,
you
you'll
know
be paying
they
the
say on
same.
the last bullet right there, it says Centeroo and the caliber of artists you expect from us will remain very similar to previous years. So you're still paying the same amount of money, but you're receiving less. You don't get to arrive on Tuesday. You don't have a full experience on Thursday anymore, and you no longer have Where in the Woods that's out in Outeroo as like a
Yeah,
fun like side excursion thing that they're offering. To me, it's just offering less is more, and as in more, you're paying more money for
yeah,
less. So,
100%.
and I think these are major downfalls and setbacks.
Yeah,
It's
for no
very
reason.
for no reason. Yeah, it's almost like um I I saw somebody say in the comments on Reddit, like, they would have rather them prefer, like, Bonnaroo, just go ahead and take a buy skip, like, you skip a year.
Yeah,
Skip 2026 and return in 2027, fix all the things that you have to fix, and leave it pretty much the same, like, leave the event the same.
yeah. The event wasn't what was wrong with it; it was the organization.
It's yeah, the execution, how they went about emergency evacuation plans and stuff. There wasn't a plan. It basically was just, nothing happened. There was nobody directing cars. There was
No,
people getting towed out of the mud and they had to pay like astronomical rates. Like Bonnaroo isn't compensating those people for that.
yeah, no.
So it's very wild and extreme. I just can't believe, you know, how many people that this really affected.
And
And this
that's
is what they're saying. This is the verbiage they're offering.
yeah. It's like I think that's kind of the death knell for me. Is like it's just gonna it's cemented that I don't think it'll have to be a pretty insane lineup for me to want to go back. And I used to
Yeah.
be like go every year no matter who's playing because I loved it so much. It's not a I went one time had a bad experience.
Yeah. And I want to talk about this last point right here. Yeah, they were offering in the surveys, if you participated in the Bonnaroo survey, they were saying, like, what would you go to Bonnaroo in fall? And, I personally wouldn't mind whenever it is. Like, it could be in summer, it could be in fall. It doesn't really matter. Like, but Bonnaroo is a June staple. Yeah, like it's usually that's its time of year. It's been around in that time of year since the beginning. And I just don't like this, like, it's very inaccurate, the statement here where it says weather experts have confirmed that we saw record-setting rainfall this spring and early summer. It's such a big excuse. Like,
Yeah,
you know, take into the fact that, like, global warming is real, and this is not, like, yeah, it might be record setting, sure, but that's this year. What about next
yeah.
year
Shit
and
gets
the
broken
next
every
next
year. I'm
year?
sorry.
Yeah, because we're gonna be seeing thousand-year storms happening all the time. It's just the fact of the matter. Like, they've been warning us this since we were kids in
Yeah,
school, and now we're seeing it. It's starting to actually play out, and it's a bummer. But
yeah,
if the event wants to continue, they should not be saying, like, "Oh, well, we saw record rainfall," like, yeah,
yeah. It
sure,
feels like
we saw
that's
record
a
rainfall, but
pretty
it's an
bad.
excuse.
I don't. I feel like that's honestly like a worse. Like that's more concerning than just being like a fluke happened. We've
Yeah,
had a record rainfall. Like what? When you have record, it means that something's not going great.
correct, yeah, and it just, I don't know, the verbiage on this, it makes no sense in my opinion. Like, it's very PR. Like, it's people just trying to smooth over the wound that they have created with their fan base. And honestly, I could have gone without even having to read this. They could have just
Yeah,
withheld saying this. All they had to say was, "We appreciate your feedback on future Bonnaroo dates, and we heard you loud and clear that your strong preference is to keep Bonnaroo in June." I would have been fine with just that. Like, they
yeah,
didn't have to go into the extra verbiage as to why or
yeah.
what
They
their
didn't need
excuse
any of
is.
it because they put the
No.
dates in the first slide.
Yeah, because the dates are here. And that's all that we needed to know, is that it's still in June. But is it nice that they at least said why? Sure. But is their why valid? No. Like, it's not valid.
Yeah,
We're going to keep experiencing these storms of a lifetime because global warming is rapidly warming the earth, and we're going to just see more abnormal weather events happening in all different parts of the world. So,
and
and it's just a poor excuse.
it's also like it rained a lot, but it was not. It never like was a torrential downpour.
Yeah.
It was like maybe an inch of rain. It was not a. It was not a downpour. It was
Yeah.
just a consistent. Yeah,
But it was enough to do something. It was enough
yeah. So
to damage the farm enough to for
yeah,
them to, like, pull the plug and
yeah.
say
So if
that they
that's
can't
a
go
record
forward with this.
setting,
Yeah. I don't
yeah,
know. It's just really interesting, the verbiage on that. But Levi, I wanted to ask you, after, we've gone through this and we talked about a lot of these points and stuff, and to me, it just seems like there's more negatives and stuff. Is that
yeah,
kind of like how you perceive it as well too? Like, you're getting less for your money's worth?
yeah. It's pretty much it could be summed up as we're gonna pretend to do stuff and you're getting less and paying the same, if not more. Because I can't imagine it'll go down in price.
No. Because you have to also remember, in that first point that we talked about, the campsites, that first point is such a crucial point.
Oh
And
yeah,
with it being number one, like, they're not hiding it. Like, they're being blatantly honest. They're saying that this will result in reduced capacity on the farm. So that means they're losing money on car parking passes. They're losing money on 4-day GA tickets. They're losing those two revenues.
yeah. They don't just
And
eat that.
no, they definitely don't eat that. And if they're really going to push the cost on the consumer, then that's going to suck. Like, you're going to be paying a lot more either in your car pass or in your, festival ticket.
And there were already like my car pass this year was $170.
I
It was
know.
not.
It's crazy. Is
Yeah,
very expensive.
yeah, I think
$170. You just can't cut that. It's
yeah,
insane. Because it used to be like $50 at one point.
yeah, and I think as a whole, I don't want to say I'm fully done with Bonnaroo, but it would have. I almost certainly am not gonna go in 2026, and it'll have to do a lot to
All right.
have me come back.
Yeah. So let's go into blue sky mode. You and I, we like to talk about like Disney and things like that. So let's go blue sky Disney Imagineering for a moment, okay? On Bonnaroo.
Yeah,
What would you do to actually fix all of this? If you had the ability to be Live Nation, you're Brad, is his name Brad Barker or Parker? I can't remember his last name.
I don't know.
He's the festival director of Bonnaroo.
Yeah,
Um, you're him, and you have an unlimited budget. What would you do to Bonnaroo to fix everything and make things right with the consumer?
I mean, there's no way that you can control the weather, and so like it rains, it sucks. But I think a lot of the problem didn't come from the rain and the cancellation; it came from how everything was handled. And so I think I think full stop, they should have taken 2026 off. Just no, like, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna have a bad ticket sale year. They're not gonna be able to afford as high class of a lineup. I think they should have taken that off, done a big project to get a drainage system. I'm not a land engineer, I couldn't tell you. Or even like you can flatten out those ditches, and they're not like you could have made more spaces campable and not have to reduce. But I think after that, then if you inevitably raise the price after a year off, it at least feels worth it.
Yeah.
And then, other than that, like programming wise, there was no reason to change all of that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but what would you like to do in blue sky mode? Like if you had the ability to like make some really cool changes and stuff to like attract consumers back to like make things right with everybody again, what would you want to do
I would
or see?
again take 2026 off. I would install whatever kind of drainage system they need or flood prevention because places do it. It's not like I'm moving a mountain. There's plenty of
Yeah.
places that are outdoor and don't flood. And so I take a year off, install the drainage system, make grounds improvements, more roads, more, and I'd improve the stages too, just as a little extra bonus. And then I'd have to, I'd have to get a amazing lineup. I'm talking like go
Who are
through,
some
see
names?
what
Go through it.
I would if I was them to really get people up. I would do, and I know this is not super logistically feasible, but I would do like a full on fan voted like these are the people touring at the time. Who do you think we should get? And
I
fan voted like, or maybe
I
at least
like
just
that.
fan vote on a headliner or a sub headliner. I think that'd be really cool, and that would stick with
Yeah.
their. We're being transparent and
So
here for you.
I'm gonna say to add to what you're saying, um, yes, like that to me is the right thing to do. Um, what's it? The Danny Wimmer, the people who throw like Welcome to Rockville, Sonic
Yeah,
Temple, and Incarnation, I think too. And
yeah,
anyways, they run a few festivals, but that's what they do. They post it on their Instagram stories, and they're like, "Hey, here's 4 artists. Vote who you want to see headline next year." And for next year, they showed like it was like Tool, 21 Pilots, and like two other bands or something. And I think people voted Tool in, and it was like cool. So now we know Tool's probably going to be the headliner for Sonic Temple next year or something. And it's like that makes it more like interactive in a sense.
yeah.
Like you're interacting more with your fan base, and the fan base themselves are kind of picking and choosing who they want. Like what you're saying, it's kind of like a la
Exactly.
carte.
Yeah, especially for a big multi-genre festival like Bonnaroo. And I'm
Yeah,
not saying like have fans pick every artist every day on every stage, but
still
definitely
have some
like
surprises.
yeah,
Yeah.
because like that's what. That's like for New Year's Eve, Billy Strings put up a website where people voted on song, like people like suggest songs and vote them up, and
Mhm.
that was his set list for New Year's. It was awesome.
Dang. I prefer that. I think that that's more you're because one, you're not only like having to guess like what the consumer is wanting at that point anymore, you're creating the expectation, like
Yeah,
because at that point the consumer is seeing like who is going to be playing and they get to choose that. And then after they know who they chose and who's going to be there, then that makes them want to buy the ticket, and they'll be
exactly
like,
what
oh,
they
okay,
want.
cool. Like I picked most of these bands and most of these bands that I picked are going to be there. So, I helped make this. Like this is something I helped make, so it's like now I must feel like I should go to this event.
Exactly. I think that would do wonders to get people back excited with it.
Yeah. I think I saw on Reddit as well. What's his name? The other guy that's a part of the like curating team and stuff of Bonnaroo. His name is Corey. Um, I forgot what he said though. I'm trying to remember what he said. He said something to the effect of like the artists and whatnot that they're planning to book and whatnot. Like I think it was just that to expect the same caliber of like lineup for 2026 and stuff, and like they're really looking into making sure that they match that type of energy and stuff. So I ultimately like we don't really know what that means. We don't know who is going to be on that bill, and no lineup is ever really truly the same. Like you can have the
Yeah,
same names come back again and it totally means something different because that artist might be touring a different album at that point, or they might be doing something completely different that you're not into anymore, and you're like, okay, I don't want to see that person anymore. I want to see this person because now they're the new thing.
yeah.
So yeah. um what do you have any other thoughts on the whole Bonnaroo situation and stuff?
No, I think just pretty much reiterating everything I said. I don't think it was a great response, and they're gonna have to pull some pretty big weight to get a lot of people to go next year. I think.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking blue sky, I would say like they need to have a epic home run of a lineup. Like they need to have
Yeah,
like Paul McCartney, Radiohead. I don't know. Just throw some really big names on there.
yeah. Because then if you're gonna raise the prices, at least have the lineup reflect it.
Exactly. And you and I like a side note here, I said Paul McCartney, but those tickets just to see him alone are
Yeah,
so expensive. They went on sale and they were like 200 something bucks at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta,
yeah. No, thank
but
you.
now they're selling at like 400 plus. Like
Yeah,
I checked just a few hours ago and I was like, geez, that's as much as going to Bonnaroo.
yeah,
Like might as well just have Paul McCartney play Bonnaroo at this point. Like it's the same price.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the Bonnaroo ticket. That's
yeah.
basically what we're expecting for 2026. We got the dates, which is exciting. It's happening June 11th through the 14th. Oh, I remember what Corey said. Corey said that they are not doing pre-sale. They're not doing Bonnaroo pre-sale because they want to just release the lineup and then they'll do ticket sales.
That's good. I think.
Yeah.
I think they because they know people are probably not gonna.
I just think that that's kind of crazy because I know from other festivals and stuff, they need to have that pre-sale money to be able to like book some artists like ahead of time and make sure that things are in motion. I know that that kind of like well lubricates the engine, but since this
Yeah,
festival is owned by Live Nation, which is a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate company that has more than enough money, I'm pretty sure that's the only
yeah. They
reason
can
why
front
they're
it.
able to do this.
Yeah,
So,
they can front it.
yeah. I mean, ultimately, maybe the only other reason why they're not doing pre-sale is because they're looking to see what their ticket sales will be for when the lineup comes out, and they can justify and say like, "Oh, there's not enough people buying tickets. We're canceling it, and we'll see
Yeah.
you in 2027."
Yeah.
So I feel like that is another kind of storm on the horizon where we might see that kind of happen.
Yeah, but we'll cross that bridge in January when we come to it.
Yeah. Well, Levi, my man, I appreciate you so much for your time and coming on to the podcast and
Of
sharing
course.
your experiences again, your trauma with us.
Yeah. Always
and
appreciate you having me, buddy.
yes, yeah, well, I want to have you back on again sometime in the near future, and we'll talk about some other things that's going on
Anytime,
in the
my
music
friend.
world. But all right, I'm gonna leave it over to you, the viewer. If you have any suggestions on what Bonnaroo should do for 2026, leave it in the comments. I would love to hear. Levi and I would love to hear uh, all of your ideas and more for what Bonnaroo 2026 should have for a lineup, and what do you think about these statements? Do you think they're real? Do you think they're going to enact it and do it? I don't know. We'll see. So, all right. He's been Levi, and I've been Crispy. We'll see you
Thank
on
you
the
guys
next
for
one.
tuning in.
Out.